Now this is about the installation, the first step of building a construction, the foundation. Step 1. Install the rebar. For a 14-foot wide plastic hoop house, hammer the lengths of rebar. Yeah, I'm okay. For a 14-foot wide plastic hoop house, hammer the lengths of rebar into the ground 3 or 4 feet apart around the perimeter of the greenhouse, heaving about 10 inches of rebar showing above ground. This hoop house will be 30 feet long. Step 1. That's for the constructing the foundation. Now here's building the greenhouse. Build the frame. Step 1. Build the frame. Attach a 5-foot length of 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC water pipe on each piece of rebar and glue one 4-way joint to the top of each pipe. Add a second 5-foot length of pipe to the 4-way joint for 10 feet of pipe on each piece of rebar. With help, bend opposite piece of pipe into the middle and attach them in arcs by gluing them to another 4-way joint. Each piece of pipe will now form a 20-foot arc with 3 4-way joints. Next, insert a 3-foot section into each arc to make a grid of pipes. Last, along the base of each side of the construction, set a 10-foot 2x9 or 2x10 into a trench about 4 inches deep and clamp this to the pipes with pipe clamps and screws. Step 2. Build the end walls. To make the end walls, first hold the plywood up to the pipe frame at the north end of the structure and mark on the arc formed by the pipes. To do this, stand the sheets of plywood against the end of the frame. You can also mark a half circle on the sheets of plywood placed on the ground, hammering a nail into the plywood. At the center, the greenhouse is 14 feet wide and the radius is 7 feet. Will be 7 feet. Mark an arc and cut out the arc with a jigsaw if you decide to make one end of the wall out of polycarbonate. You can use this arc as a template. If the winds are gusty where you live, you may have to reinforce the end walls by screwing them to 4 or 5 2x4s of various lengths. Using this method, however, they may produce arcs that are not exactly 14 feet wide, and thus will not match the wall exactly. Step 3. Install the polyethylene siding. With the frame in place, the final job is to cover the entire frame with polyethylene. Roll the polyethylene over the frame and staple it lightly to the baseboard. Next, cover the staples with long batten screwing strips nailed into place. In warmer weather, the pruning strips can be detached and lifted to allow air to enter the lower part of the greenhouse. My experience has been that this structure will not stand up to 50-mile-per-hour winds, but withstands any below this mark. Note that a heavy snowfall will weigh on the frame and cover, but it's easy enough to walk inside the hoop house and push the snow from the sheet. Okay. Variations and upgrades. As mentioned above, you can cover the southern end wall of the greenhouse with polycarbonate instead of plywood to allow even more light in the structure. Simply use the system described in step 2 to draw an arc on the polycarbonate that matches the arc of the greenhouse frame. Okay. Now to go over the materials. 30-inch length of rebar for the materials. The construction and foundation. The building materials are 20 10-foot lengths of 3/4 Schedule 40 PVC pipe. Each piece cut in half. 7 10-foot lengths of 3/4 PVC pipe cut into 3-foot lengths. 34-way pipe joints. Plastic pipe glue. 60 foot of 2x8 or 2x10 pipe plus pipe clamps. A wooden frame is built on the base of the frame, and the pipe clamps are used to fasten the pipe to the wood. For the walls, 4 pieces of 3/8 inch 4x8 foot GTX plywood for the north end of the greenhouse. 4 48-inch for 96-inch 6mm polycarbonate panels for the south end. For the glazing, 100-foot roll of construction polyethylene plastic. Note, plastic has a tendency to split along the folds over time. Rolling strips for nailing polyethylene to sides base pieces. For the doors, an old or new screen door with hinges and clasps. Okay, that's all. That's how you build a high hoop house. That's how you build a hoop house or high tunnel greenhouse. Glad you were watching.